You know, I wanted this video to start off Christmassy, but this video topic is not Christmassy at all. So for today's video, we're gonna be getting an exclusive tour of a very unique place. Last year, I found out this place existed. The concept of it is wild, and it just so happens I live 20 minutes away from it. And they happen to offer tours, so I figured this would probably make an interesting video, so I'm gonna bring a camera along and I guess kind of film my experience here. It's a place called Alcor, where they specialize in preserving bodies that have died to later be brought back to life in some sense, whenever that technology exists. It could be centuries. I think right now, I'm not an expert in this, but I feel like we're pretty far away from that happening. Who knows if it ever will, but right now in current day, you do have the option of waiting for that and freezing your body when you die. It even says this directly on their website: cryonics sounds like science fiction, but it's based on modern science. Life can be stopped and restarted if the basic structures can be preserved. So as crazy as this concept is, it does sound like science fiction, but in hundreds and hundreds of years, who knows what's possible. It says here, it's incorporated in California in 1972 by Fred and Linda Chamberlain. Fred is now cryopreserved at Alcor, and Linda still works here. Nice, so I'm gonna go visit Fred, Frozen Fred there. And this is all, of course, if humans don't destroy the earth before we even get the opportunity to get this technology. But the question I'm sure you're wondering, if you're still watching this, is how much does something like this cost? How much would it cost you to call one of these large metal containers your home for centuries? Well, it says right here, to cryopreserve your whole body, you would need a minimum life insurance policy of $200,000. Or they have the budget-friendly version, and you can do it for $80,000 for just cryopreservation, which I think is just your head. You just get your head frozen. I feel like if I did this, I would have to do the full body. It's like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna cheap out and just do my head. In the future though, I probably wouldn't even want my old body. They could probably just make me a better one. That's just a lot to commit to say that not only that you're gonna do this process, but you're willing to come back as just a head. So my opinion about this, I don't know if I would ever actually do it, but if money wasn't a factor and I did decide to do it, it would almost give me like a sense of hope. I don't know if hope is the right word, but it gives you kind of hope that you do get to see the future and kind of gets to know what happens. So if I was at the end of life and I knew that there was maybe a chance I can get woken up, it would be kind of cool. Except I wouldn't want to do it alone. I would need my whole family to do it, because then that'd be very lonely. So who knows, maybe doing this tour will convince me to actually get it. They do offer monthly plans, so I could start paying it off right now. But anyway, I think I've talked enough. We're gonna go tour this place. I don't know if anyone else is gonna be on the tour. I picked the time, so I think it's just gonna be me. I don't know what to expect from this tour, but I think it'd be interesting just to bring the camera along. I would love to see this room where all the bodies are stored. I wanna see a frozen head. I don't think they'll show me that though. So let's go now. I'm gonna leave in about an hour or so. I'm gonna have my friend Logan filming a little bit for me actually. I haven't even told him what he's gonna be filming. So about an hour later, I drove over to hopefully see these frozen people in person. I'm gonna talk over some of the footage because our tour guide didn't want to be directly on camera, so it makes it easier to edit. But when we arrived, we're immediately greeted with all the pictures on the wall of the current frozen members of Alcor.
Throughout this facility, you're going to see pictures. These are our patients, people who are really cryopreserved, and I like to start with this wall here. The middle one there is our youngest patient. She's actually the youngest patient in the world. She's just shy of her 3rd birthday. She was our Thailand baby. She was basically born with brain cancer, poor little thing.
And throughout this tour, that was something that really stuck with me, was getting to learn about the people that have actually done this. Like this little girl that she's describing, she actually has a documentary on Netflix. I think it's called Hope Frozen. So the people who are really gonna be the first people brought back to life, they all have pretty interesting stories. They have a famous baseball player there, the first guy to ever buy a Bitcoin. There's even a guy that legally changed his name. He changes it to Future Man. Right there is his picture, and he predicted he would be back by 2030. So he was a little off. Are the dogs cryopreserved?
No, we have actually over 90 pets that are cryopreserved, mostly kitties and dogs like you see here.
Oh my God, if I could cryopreserve my cat.
It's a bit pricey, but you can do that. We have several members that are making payments on their pets right now because it starts up at $2,500. It just goes straight up from there, depending if you want a neuro or whole body.
Yes, you can get your pets frozen also to take with you to the future. I kind of thought this was really cool at first, but the more I thought about it, I don't know, it does kind of make me feel weird. I guess it kind of depends if they keep their memories when they get revived, if your pet's still gonna recognize you. Can you imagine if I did that and just me and Kitty chilling in the future?
We just did our third chinchilla. One of our members has chinchillas. We have one member that's got 12 different cats in preservation.
Wow.
This is basically a snapshot of what cryonics is. Gotta think of cryonics as an extension of emergency medicine. You can't fix what ails you today, so we're gonna put you in stasis until that technology is available. Part of your membership is you get a memory box. It's basically about the size of a case of paper to put in things like that, memoirs, photos, little mementos, things to help remember who you are during the revival process.
I was thinking, do you get the opportunity to like take some items to the future?
Just that.
You do? Wow, okay. As the tour continued, we actually got to see a lot of the facility, even the places like the surgery kind of room where it all goes down.
It's kind of a mess right now because we literally just had a patient come in and Sarah's right in the middle of putting it all back together.
So she apologized for this room being messy because they just had a patient in being frozen just 3 days ago. This was definitely weird to see in person, but this is an actual model of what it would look like immediately when someone dies, what they would put you in to kind of start the process of freezing.
Pronounced, they're covered in water, ice. You see the cooling mask like I showed you earlier.
Oh yeah, 3D printed.
The person is intubated because we want to keep the oxygen in the body as long as possible. So the patient comes in through there, we put the body in there, go through the carotid arteries, it's called cannulation. Think of it like a dialysis machine. We're taking out the blood and body fluids, and at the same time, we're introducing our cryopreserve solution, the N22 solution. We want the body to absorb the solution similar to a sponge. And if it does it right, the brain will actually shrink down to a very good size.
But finally after this, I got to see the actual room where they store the bodies.
So this is our patient care bed. Like I said, 189 people, and that big box you see in the corner. 189. Okay, now the big gray box you see at the end there, that is our latest patient being in what we call cool down. This part takes, like I said, 10 to 14 days, so this person is in cryo and they're slowly lowering their body temperature to get to liquid nitrogen.
So they're in that right now.
And that gray box, because that's a whole body.
Wow.
We have 120 neurals, which are heads only, and the rest are all whole bodies.
So the majority is just head?
Yes. Inside, they're divided into quadrants. One quadrant can hold one whole body or 10 neurals. There's shells in there, so there's 2 neurals per shell.
Oh, okay, so that is like a mini thing of it.
Yeah, this is what it looks like on the inside.
Okay.
Now, the membership is 50% have people that signed up for 55% for body and 45% of the people that signed up for neuro. So the board was concerned about spacing issues. So see at the very end here, the doers, that's shaped just a lot differently than the others. It's got a top goes up.
Oh, okay.
That's our super doer. Instead of holding 4 whole body, hold up to 11.
What?
Yes.
How?
And it takes up the same amount of floor space. This is Dr. Bedford's original doer. And
wow.
As you can see on the inside there, it was that we found it to be more efficient, vertical as or laying down flat like this.
So what she just described here, this pod thing in the front was the original home of James Bedford, who was the first person, it even says on Google, that he was the first person to ever be cryopreserved. And this was the original pod that his family kept him in all the way back in 1967. So with that, after that room, that about wrapped up the tour of Alcor. Our tour guide was so helpful. She was so down to answer any of the weird questions I had. There was one I asked because I was really curious that if she was actually gonna be frozen. And to my surprise, she said no. So wow, what an honor it was to tour that place. It did feel kind of special. Like if they do what they say they're gonna do, that place is gonna be kind of part of history. I don't know if this made the edit, but I think she said they estimated about 150 years until that technology exists. I was gonna ask, like, do you guys have an estimation of how?
50 to 150, it depends
That's
on how.
it? Which I was surprised by that because that seems pretty soon. My guess, I feel like it's gonna be at least 400 years. But overall, after doing this tour, and let's say money wasn't a factor and I also had family that was going to do it, I probably would just say, F it, let's try it. There's also a part of me that's like, you're kind of born in your generation. You get to experience that generation. I don't know if I'm trying to live forever. I can't imagine just being thrown into the future like that. Like, I wouldn't have a home. Would I be homeless? Because I don't have a home in the future. Would I just get revived and now I have to go apply for a future job? I don't know. There's just so many things. There's so many factors that if I do this, I need to prep a lot. This is definitely gonna be a video. I cannot wait to read your comments. So definitely let me know, if money wasn't a factor, would you sign up to be frozen? And hey, you know, we're very close to Christmas actually. If you're just loaded with money and you don't know what to get someone still, this could possibly be a great gift to offer to freeze them. But with that, I think that's gonna wrap up this video. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed this different kind of video where I actually leave my house. Look out in the next couple days. I think I'm gonna try to stream one of the days before Christmas. I have an idea I want to do. Maybe I can even do it after, I don't know. Before though, probably. If not, I will see you before the end of the year with another video. Thank you all for making it to the end of this video. I love you guys, and hopefully I'll see you next time.